Alright crew, we're back at it again, and I have been putting off my father's tractor, the Ford 1710, for far too long. I dropped the engine off at the machine shop. The engine took a lot longer than anticipated to get done, but that's okay. I didn't have the time to do it anyway. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to work on the main crankshaft of this engine. So this crankshaft has 30,000 hours on it, roughly, and she actually doesn't look too bad. It's got some minor imperfections. Ideally, you would send out this crank and get it to the machine shop and get it ground down and all that stuff, but parts are so hard to come by now that I only have original parts available. I can't buy, oversized clamshell bearings and stuff like that, so I have to clean it up as best I can and put whatever new equipment I can in here. So in this video I'm going to show you guys how I clean up my crankshaft and my engine. Nothing really crazy, nothing fancy. I've probably only done 4 or 5 complete engine teardown and rebuilds in my life. So I'm no professional, and I learn every time that I do it. But the main crank is very important. You got a lot of oil passages you got to clean out, and you got to make sure the surfaces are pretty good, because this is the backbone of your engine. All right, time to do something. Fuck. Okay, so I got this crank set up on 2 little vices and some rags here, so I can just spin it freely and not scratch it the hell up. But here's the engine block itself. It's upside down right now, but so everyone understands how this one works. I got these 2 supports here. This gets bolted to the base of the engine, the block of the engine, and then also you have your rear main bearing and your front main bearing right here. And they're anchored in through the end caps. They're anchored in through the end caps as well. Okay, one thing to initially note, and I didn't notice this when I first tore the engine down, and I just noticed it when I plopped the crank on here, which I think is interesting, is, well, you see how easy this one's moving? But, okay, so this is one of the mounting locations, and there's clamshell bearings in here and all that stuff, and there's supposed to be thrust washers. Thrust washers are not supposed to prevent you from rocking back and forth, and we have, like, minimal rocking. That's, like, I would say barely normal. And I have new thrust washers here, so we can replace them. Alright, so I'm going to do a fast forward video, but what I'm going to do in my fast forward video is I am going to prep all of these surfaces on this thing. All right, so what I'm going to do is take my little wire brush here. I'll take some steel wool. All right, and I'm going to go and clean up all of these surfaces as best I can. You can see there's a little shit stain surface there, and that is some minor pitting and stuff like that. Ideally, you don't want to have that on this. Like I said, you want a nice perfect surface, but I got to get this thing as best as I can because I don't have all of the parts in the world on this thing. So yeah. So with that being said, let's do a fast forward video of me cleaning this up, and then you can see, I'll show you how it looks. See that black? That's the oil that's stuck in there. Look at that. That is black ass oil, dude. next one I'm going to do is I'm going to pump compressed air through all of these channels in the crank and stuff, and hopefully we see some oil come out. I'll probably spray some WD-40 in there, maybe some PB Blaster, and then blow it out some more. All right, you don't need 100 psi. I usually just do like, I don't know, 30 psi or something. You can hear it come out of here. It's pretty clear. It's cool. Let's do this one. Okay. So none of them are really majorly blocked, which is cool. That's nice. Okay, no ports there. I think we did this one. This one just goes straight through. Yeah, so this crank, you know, your oil was disgusting. It's pretty good. So I'm just going to spray some lube in here. Okay. Whoa. And let's blow it all out. You can see some air coming out of here. I'll rotate. And you don't have to get all the 40 weight out, you know, just get some of it out, you know. And because if your engine can't take a little bit of WD-40, holy. Okay, so that's about that. I'm just going to do some final cleaning of this thing. Just like this, just wipe off some of the schmutz, and I'm going to take my air gun and air chuck this whole thing out. And then this crank is ready for reassembly. Cool, huh? Yeah, so that's how I do a crankshaft on an engine. I hope that was helpful to you guys. Hopefully I didn't bore you, but again, this is a used crankshaft with a ton of hours on a Ford 1710, but this thing looks pretty good for what it is. All right, besides that, that's all I got to show you today. See ya.